All right, are you ready to finish off your bracelet? At this point it should look like this with both rows of Swarovski crystal done. Now I'm not sure where you ended, but if you'll come out of one end or the other of the beads just like you were doing before, then you want to add on 9 seed beads. Okay, I've actually already added them on mine. Then you're going to come around and you're going to go through just the pearl, but then you're going to pick up 2 more seed beads and you're going to go across to the other pearl. And the reason you do that is so that it doesn't pull that thread tight across there, and it keeps them separated to make the squares look right. Now I usually go back through mine just in case. And then all the way through the 2 seed beads again. And sometimes I will tell you that it gets a little difficult to get in through there, so you might have to make it 2 or 3 swipes with the needle and not just one straight through like I just did. And pull it tight. Okay, now turn it over on its back. This is the easiest way to follow the path. We want to go ahead and tie off now, but once again we don't want to go across the centers, so because we want it to look just as pretty on the back as it does on the front. So we're going to work our way around into the actual beading and just do what's called slip knots, right over left and then right over left, right over left, then left over right. Now by doing this you will actually lock the knots. A lot of people don't realize that if you do a locked knot, if you do a slip knot in opposite directions, it actually locks it into itself. Now I'm going to go and move around a little bit more to just do another knot. And again, this is kind of your option of where you feel you want to go. You can wind it back 5 or 6 stitches if you want. You can wind it back 2 or 3 stitches. You don't want to put the knots right next to each other, but how far you go back is kind of up to you. Okay, so I'm going to go the same thing. I'm going to go slide it in this way and then go back and slide it in this way and through the loop. Now you don't want to cut right there. You always want to leave some tail just in case that knot slips a little. It'll give it some slack to slip up through. You also don't generally want to leave a tail on the end in case it does slip out, because then people will have a tendency to clip it. So once it gets into the center, I'm going to just pull up, put my cutters down and pull a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go back and do the exact same thing on the other end. And what I just did was, using my teeth, I flattened the end of this thread. Again, this is fire line. It is originally it was a fishing line, and now it is used as beaders love it, love it, love it, love it. And not always does it work on these tiny, tiny needles. Come on, get on there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move it up. Now, here's where I have not a problem, but a situation where I'm going to be coming through the middle this time first. So I'm going to add my 2 and go across, and now I'm going to add 9. That might be your case, or you might have wound it the other direction and it didn't do that to you. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7, okay, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm going to go back through once again, because I always want to have 2 strands if I can. Now this is 6-pound thread. It shouldn't break, but it might. That's why we always do the 2 threads, because now it's 12 pounds per inch. Okay, I'm going to wind it back through. And do my right over left, left over right, Follow the path of the thread down a little ways. I don't want to do a knot on the outside because I want the bottom to look just as pretty as I do on the front side. Okay, let's try it here. Right over left, left over right. Now I'm going to wind it up and around a little bit so that if it slips, it's not going to slip back through that knot. Now, you may break a thread, but the chances of this thread slipping all the way back through the tail, all the way back through 2 knots, and coming through the end is virtually impossible. So there's your bracelet. Now all we have to do is add our ends. Now I have kind of pre-done a few things. I usually add 1 jump ring to my clasp and then add it onto the end. And if you haven't taken a class or a BeadALong from me before, this little thing on my finger is called a jump ring. I got caught on a seed bead. Hang on 1 second. There it goes. And what it does is it eases to open and close the jump rings without pliers. Now on the other end, let me show you a quick trick. Again, if you have taken a class from me before, you already know this trick. First, you only open jump rings like this, like I did here, side to side. You never open them this way. That ruins the integrity of the spring in the spring wire. Okay, so I've opened 1, I add 2, and I close it. I open 1, and I add 2, and I close it. Now, when I put these 2 together, there's 3 in a row. There's the 4th. 5, 6, 7. So there's now 7 in a row. Okay. Again, I've pre-done this a little bit. You can do this if you want. You don't have to. I included a little heart for you to dangle if you'd like. I usually put each of my dangles on a separate ring, and the reason I do that is so that they dangle better. Okay, now I'm going to put this onto there as well. That's a very full ring, but it's fine. It'll still move around quite well. Now I take this one and I put my connection onto the bracelet and close it, and look at that. There you go. Right angle weave with embellishment. Beautiful bracelet. Could be worn fall, spring, summer, whenever you'd like. You should also have some crystals and things left over. I will tell you that if you like, a lot of people, instead of doing it 2 wide, will go 3 wide. And then they will put them in opposite directions and make arrows. Some people actually put them so that it's up, down, if you want to go 4 wide. Some people put 2 V's coming in. So there's lots of options of way to do the embellishment and of doing the right angle weave. Now, you always want to do the base right angle weave as wide as you want from the beginning, and then in the embellishment. You don't want to add on to this bracelet, and the reason is because once you did the embellishment, it tightened up. The tension will be totally different on the extended rows. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you love your bracelet. Remember to post pictures and join me for the 8th BeadALong coming up soon.